Today we're going to look back at my year of running in 2023, the goals I set, did I achieve them, how my year's gone, have I achieved everything I wanted to achieve? Let's dive straight in and look at my 2023 recap. Hello, welcome back to the channel. So yeah, as we're getting towards the end of the year now, we're kind of early November, so we've got a couple of weeks left of the year, but I'm going to do my 2023 recap in terms of look back, what I set out to achieve this year in my running, what are my goals and my ambitions, and did I manage to achieve them? What are my shortcomings? Is there anything I've not managed to do which I was hoping to do, etc. So today's just going to be a look back at kind of my plans I had in place, the races I entered, my goals I had in mind, and whether I managed to achieve them or not. I'll also drop the next couple of days and weeks a 2024 look ahead in terms of my plans for 2024, what I'm going to be doing, and also do a race plan as well for 2024 in terms of, again, my goals and ambitions for next year. Yeah, 2023 was my kind of second solid year back, so I returned to running kind of summer of 2021, entered the metric marathon in Chester, and then 2022 was my first full kind of year of running in terms of calendar years. I entered the Chester Marathon that year, and that was kind of the one and only goal, and that was the first time I ever kind of ran to a training plan, and my first full solid year, calendar year of running. So 2023 was this is the second time that's happened now, so obviously I'm now 2.5 years back running, but this is the second full year of running, so I'm going to have some big goals to hit this year. Mainly this year was a half marathon focus. I couldn't commit to a marathon block. I wanted to look at the half marathon, which I'd never focused on previously. I entered the Chester half marathon and the Cheshire half marathon. One was in May, one was in September, so it was giving me a nice window of 2 blocks to train for, one at the start of the year, and then a bit of a small down period, and then straight into another block for the second half marathon of the year. So just quickly in terms of the headlines, I've managed to PB at every distance so far this year compared to last year, which is the second time in 2 years I've done that. So in 2022 I hit a PB in every distance, the 5, the 10, the half and the marathon. This year obviously didn't enter the marathon, but I've PB'd at the half, the 10 and the 5. So quite happy with that progress. My main focus obviously was the half marathon, and I'll go into detail about the goals and targets I had for those. But yeah, I'm happy that I've hit PB in every distance again. Hopefully next year I can continue to make small strides forward and improve yet again on every distance. That's my kind of goal as a runner now, is to improve holistically, not just focus on one specific distance and kind of pigeonhole myself into that. I want to be a strong runner at all 4 distances really, so I'm happy that I've PB'd at all distances. I'll go into a bit more detail now. So yeah, so I'll just refer to some of my notes. So yeah, in 2022 my best 5k was a 2012. I was desperate to try and get it below the 20-minute barrier, and I really struggled. I think it was more of a psychological barrier that running that below that 4 minute per k pace was a real barrier to me. I could get a couple of k below that, but then the 3rd, 4th, 5th k where I would struggle. But yes, I was desperate to try and get that sub 20 club. At the start of the year I ran a 20.06 in 2023, so again I was close but not quite close enough, and then finally I managed to run a 1945, 1946. I'll put all details on the screen. That was the first time I managed to get in the sub 20 club. I was really happy to finally break that psychological barrier of sub 20. It just shows a bit of progress I've been making with a bit of consistent running. And then since then I've ran, I think, sub 20 a couple more times. So I'm pretty confident now I can obviously run around a 20-ish minutes 5k, not on demand, but whenever. My fitness is kind of there at the minute. And then I broke the 5k again, so I've run a 19.35 again later on in the year, and that's my current PB. And then obviously I'm in the middle of the Winter Speed Series now, and only the other week, last week I think was when I did my 5k baseline, I did a 19.36, so I'm around that kind of time. And again, touching on the Winter Speed Series, I think I'm going to be covering that for the next 5, 6, 7 weeks towards the end of the year. Hopefully that will provide some extra anaerobic benefits, and I'll maybe chip some more time off that 5 and hopefully the 10k as well, which I'll touch upon now. So yeah, I've got room to improve those times yet again this year, so hopefully that'll be done before the end of the year. But follow along with the Winter Speed Series and see how I get on with that. Okay, 10k wise, again, just refer to my notes. My best was last year in 2022 was 43.05. That was my PB, my lifetime PB, and I set that right at the end of the year in the Project 10k I did. So again, that was after the marathon. I wanted to just tag onto that back of that fitness do a small project similar to what I'm doing this year, and I attempted to try and improve my PB for my 10k. I think at the time when I started the project, it was like 46 and a half, something like that, and I managed to, in the space of about 8 to 10 weeks over the project 10k, and I got it down to 43.05. This year, again, I broke that, so I've got down to, I think the first time I broke it was in April. I did a 42.26. So again, finally got below the 43 minutes for the 10k. And then obviously I focused on half marathon for pretty much all of this year, which I'll go on to next. And then only again last week in the baseline 10k run I did for the Winter Speed Series, I ran a 42.25, so a 1 second PB for the 10k. And that's my current PB, and again, like I just touched upon that, again, over this Winter Speed Series, over the next 6-7 weeks of hard speed training and hill work, etc., hopefully I can improve that leg turnover, improve that anaerobic fitness, and I'll knock some more time off that. Going off my 5k time, I do feel I should be closer to the 41 minute 10k time, so I feel I've got at least a 90-ish seconds to knock off, but again, it's, at the minute I'm struggling to hit that time, which again, it just shows I need a bit of work on the 10k. It is the distance I struggle with, but yeah, happy again that I got another PB in that distance, and again, there's room to improve it yet again this year. And then again, finally, the distance I've kind of focused on all year is the half marathon. So again, at the start of the year, they were my 2 goal races. I've entered a couple of other races, a trail race and a couple of smaller local ones, but yeah, the main focus this year was half marathon. I put all my eggs into that basket. That was the 2 races I trained for. I put the training blocks together for. I trained for say 10-12 weeks for each of the races, and that was the real focus. The initial aim was sub 90 minutes for both, or either or for definitely this year. And obviously again, those that followed the channel and watched along with those training series and or race days, I never achieved that, so I basically got 1 hour 35 for both. For various reasons, again, I'll touch upon it briefly in a second, but yeah, so my best last year was 1 hour 40, which again I did on the 100-minute run. So I did a 100-minute run towards the end of last year, just for the first 100 subscribers, and managed to just sneak it 1 hour 40 in I think it was 14 seconds. So that was my PB, and then this year I've hit a fairly consistent time of 1 hour 35 for both of my half marathons, one in May in Chester and one in September, I think it was, for Cheshire half marathon. But yeah, I'll touch on a bit more detail now in terms of why that's tinged with a little bit of disappointment in terms of what could have been. Yeah, I always feel like it's been a bit bittersweet in terms of I've obviously hit a PB and I'm happy with that, but I feel like both races didn't quite go to plan. So Chester, I feel I peaked in terms of training wise probably a couple of weeks prior. I had 2 really good runs probably in a week or 2 prior to Chester, or probably the 2 weeks prior to Chester, just before I started my taper. One was a really solid 15k, again I put details on the screen, and the other one was a nice solid 20k. Both of them felt really, not easy, but comfortable, solid. I was moving at a good pace, kind of goal half marathon pace, maybe slightly slower, but again they felt really comfortable. Then I picked up a tiny niggle in terms of my hamstring and ligament kind of strain right on the last run of the training block, and then for the next 2 weeks during the taper I had to kind of manage that, which meant I didn't go into the race where I was 2 weeks previously. And again, that was in the back of my mind, the niggly injury, so I couldn't really run all out. And then again, a 1:35, which was a solid run, but and a PB, a 5-minute PB, but it felt like, oh, what could have been if the race had been 2 weeks earlier, or if I had avoided that injury, I could have potentially done more. And then again, Cheshire was 4 or 5 months later. That training block went well. I feel like I probably should have done more what I'm doing now in terms of the anaerobic running. I did a lot of steady state. Missed the kind of boat in terms of going from base building up into the more race pace stuff. So that training block didn't go quite as well as the Chester one did. And then again on race day I was feeling pretty confident. I was hoping I could beat the PB. I felt like it was a better race. I ran a better race that day. It was just the heat was a massive factor, and obviously those that have watched the vlog and probably medical assistance at the end with dehydration and kind of heat exhaustion. If that had been a cooler day, I feel I could have done definitely a minute or 2 off. But again, it is what it is. You don't get to choose these things on the day. That's what it happens. But yeah, it was one of them bittersweet. So I managed to get 2 solid times to 1 hour 35 twice. I do feel I'm quicker than that in terms of my half marathon. Should be more closer to like 1:33, maybe even slightly less. I feel like I've got a couple more minutes in me at least. And again, the initial goal was sub 90, which I never got really that close to, so it's a bit disappointing, but it is what it is. I've made strides. You can't rush these things, you can't take shortcuts. There's no magic formula, so I've got to continue to work. And again, so in terms of my goals for the year, again, anyone that watches the channel and has been watching for quite a while now, I do tend to set kind of lofty goals with the ultimate aim of trying to hit them, but generally I don't generally hit my goals because they're quite ambitious to some extent. So for the 5k, I have obviously got the initial aim of sub 19. I'm currently in 19:35. This winter speed series hopefully can knock a couple more seconds off, but I'm probably not going to get sub 19 this year. My 10k goal for the last couple of years has been sub 40. And again, I'm currently at 42:25, and that's probably the distance I'm most struggling with in terms of knocking that time down. But again, hopefully this winter speed series will take a chunk off, with again the ultimate aim of sub 40 at some point in the next couple of years. And then the half again this year was sub 90, and I'm at 1 hour 35, so I'm a couple of minutes off that. But they're all quite lofty goals compared to where I was not all that long ago. So yeah, 2023 overall, it's been ups and downs. I said I've had a man and niggle. Generally injury-wise, touch wood, I've had no real issues. It's been probably my best in terms of running an injury year. I've hit the biggest mileage I've ever done, and I've still got weeks to go yet, so it's definitely going to be the highest mileage year I've ran. Again, touch wood, no injuries. I've managed to stay injury-free. I've done 2 solid-ish training blocks, and I've hit PBs in every distance I've kind of raced this year in terms of I've ran and focused on this year in terms of the 5 to 10 and a half. So overall, I can say I'm very happy with how I've managed to run this year. Things have gone pretty much not gone to plan, but they've gone pretty well, so I'm not going to grumble too much. I'm not going to be too downbeat about it, but obviously my lofty goals are probably going to stay the same next year. I'm going to maybe change tack. I'll drop another vlog in the next couple of days and weeks in terms of that 2024 look ahead, and I'm going to tweak a few things in terms of how I approach things, how I'm going to train, and how I'm going to set my goals. Yeah, I always set ambitious goals because I'd rather do that and fall short of it, but I've made kind of improvements than set kind of easy to hit goals, hit them and just kind of rest on my laurels. So but I'm going to maybe leave the goals as they are. I'm not going to knock it down even more and make it another unachievable goal. These are already quite ambitious goals, even rolling into next year. So, but yeah, look out for the 2024 look ahead. Like I said, there's going to be quite a bit of change. I'm going to change the way I'm going to be training. I'm going to release any information what races I'm entering next year. So look out for that one. And I'm going to change tack quite without dropping too much of a spoiler. There's going to be quite a big change in terms of how I approach stuff. So look out for that. I'll drop that in the next couple of days and weeks. And that'll kind of inform you about what's going to change in terms of my 2024 approach, how things are going to change compared to what from this year in terms of what I've learnt this year, how far I've come and what I'm going to look at going forward. But yeah, that's a wrap up there. Basically 2023 overall, pretty happy. It's gone pretty well. Like I said, the running's gone well. I've had no injuries. I've hit PBs. I feel stronger and fitter and faster than I've ever done, and hopefully that will continue as I progress through next year and the year after. Obviously nothing's going to change, but I'm going to hopefully continue to make that small strides forward. Excuse the pun, in terms of my running's going to keep getting stronger. I'm going to make incremental benefits each year in terms of improvements in my fitness and my running ability. So follow along. Like I said, I've got big projects next year, quite a few changes next year, so you'll be able to watch along with those. But yeah, hopefully overall 2023 it's been my best running year yet. Hopefully I can say that pretty much at the end of every year, but that might not be the case. But yeah, I'll take it. I'll take it whilst I can roll with it. So yeah, so 2023 overall, really positive year. My fastest and furthest year yet in terms of times and distance. So long may that continue. As always, I do appreciate everyone that's watched along this year with the channel. I said we've just gone over 12 months, just to come up to 18 months now with the channel. So hopefully it's getting better, and my videos are getting a little bit better in terms of my editing skills, etc. So thanks for watching along. I do appreciate everyone that takes the time out to click on my videos and to sit there and watch them. Hopefully you get some benefit, whether that be information, bit of knowledge, bit of entertainment, or whatever it might be. Like I said, I do try and vary what I put out there. So yeah, I do appreciate everyone watching. If you haven't yet liked, shared or subscribed, feel free to do so. Like I said, the more you like the videos, the more they get found. Share them with anyone in your running communities if they haven't yet found the channel. And if you subscribe, obviously it just helps you be notified when more and more videos come out. I say I drop them fairly regularly. Drop in the comments, as usual for my 2023 recap, drop in the comments your biggest achievement this year. Again, it could be anything: running your first 5k, running your first marathon, hitting a specific time, starting to run for the first time ever, just anything, doesn't have to be big or small. Drop in the comments your biggest achievement for 2023. You can use whatever criteria you want. I look forward to reading through all your kind of running achievements this year. That says share with us all your biggest successes this year for 2023. But yeah, look out for my upcoming vlogs. I'm going to look ahead. There's going to be a couple dropping quite quickly in terms of my running shoe restock, what I bought and why, my plans for 2024 and what's going to change into 2024. We'll drop those 3 vlogs quite quickly. But yeah, I do appreciate everyone watching. Thank you everyone for taking the time out to watch my stuff. But yeah, happy running. Hopefully all your running's going really well. Mine's gone really well this year. So continue, hopefully prosperous running in the future for everyone. And I'll see everyone on the next one.